Are We Outraged? It's a new fun thing. It's Shirtgate. Yes, everybody's had a topic on Shirtgate, so why don't we? For those of you who are not familiar, Shirtgate is as follows. It's a gate with a shirt. No, it's a conversation about a sexist shirt that was worn by one of the sciencey guys. I think that's their technical term. That was interviewed this week after the Filet Lander did some pretty damn cool stuff. And, of course, the shirt in question was... yeah, it's kind of problematic. The question that we ask every week on Are We Outraged is undoubtedly the internet will get outraged about something. So, Dan and Vince, are we outraged? Shirtgate.
Yeah.
Vince.
Yeah, outraged.
Of course, kids, we use the word outrage with some sort of quotations around it. But outrage, not outrage. Was this worth the outrage? I'm on the fence on this. So I'll give you my opinion, and you jump in on it. So you're saying yes. So I think you can probably agree with this diagnosis here.
Yeah.
But I'm not outraged by that shirt. But I'm also I don't feel as strongly as I've heard a lot of people this week about how it shouldn't be outraged at all. So let's take a look at that shirt. If you can tell me you could get away with that on any casual Friday at any workplace in America that didn't involve fixing cars, maybe?
Yeah. Look at his left arm. And
right, she's like spread eagle with listen. Come on now. We all know you couldn't get away with that in almost any workplace. Am I like deeply offended as a human being? No. Was anybody? No. But the problem that I have with this with these arguments is that people said things like there was a Verge article that said, I don't care if you landed on a comet, you still can't wear that shirt at work. They're not literally saying I didn't care they landed a comet. They were saying, listen, what you did is amazing. It still doesn't excuse you from being a douchebag in the moment. Now, he cried. He apologized. We feel bad for that guy. 100% we do. And society's stupid and clickbaits. And
very genuine that he understood that he made a mistake and he was genuine about it, and that's great. Yeah.
So I don't think but I really dislike the mischaracterization of the other side on this. This is all the side, of all the articles I read this week on Shirtgate, this is all the other side who was against it was trying to say. The field is predominantly male. It's a hard hill to climb for women. And that shirt reeks of boys club. There is not a corporate environment in America you could wear that shirt to on casual Friday and not have someone go, Jim, we all love you here, but if you could maybe not wear the shirt that makes you look like a 1980s sexist sitcom trope.
I don't think they're being that polite. HR is telling you to pack your things in a box.
And so nobody said that you should get fired for this on these articles. Nobody was claiming that this guy should be set out on a rail.
You would get fired in workplaces where I've worked.
I don't want to get into that. I don't think you would there either. I think people would be like, you need to change your clothes now, thanks. And you're going to have a file on you now. But I think the point of that isn't about being fired or not fired. That's not what the conversation I wanted to have. The conversation that I'm looking into is, it's what it represents. It represents that he had no even thought process of this might be a problematic shirt. Why? Because his workplace doesn't have probably a lot of awkward moments with women.
God, well,
and so in a very important day in science, in a very big day in the world, in people looking up to people. If you have a daughter or a kid, it'd be really awesome if that guy wasn't wearing that shirt. That's all they were trying to say. They weren't saying they shouldn't focus on this. There's a false narrative out there that I really disliked this week, and it was this idea that if you take on the little stuff, it means you're not focusing on the big stuff. And that's completely bogus, and it's a silly argument. The reason why the small stuff bothers people is because the small stuff seems so easy to fix, whereas the systematic big stuff seems really hard to fix. And when we can't even put the effort in to say the small stuff is wrong, it makes this hill seem that much larger to climb. That's all anybody was saying. Nobody was saying, fuck that guy, let's literally take out the pitchforks and run him off planet Earth. They were just like, oh my God, and it's such a huge moment. What is happening? Why does that
or
guy...
taking away from the achievements that guy
Right.
made? That's the most important thing that needs to be underlined, because there was a lot of outrage as if, people were, taking away what he had achieved, and nobody's doing that. But,
right, but everybody was just like, it really sucks that
No,
you
but-
chose
but
to
your
wear that in your
point-
moment of achievement.
But your point is actually absolutely true. If I had an 8-year-old daughter who is actually looking to look up to this guy, having to explain to that kid
Right.
that guy, that thing that you want to pursue,
Right.
space exploration, that is the guy
You have to deal with.
Yeah, and that is
is
the
fair.
guy you should have as a role model. Is a
Yeah.
tough thing to explain, and if you can
It's
say
not
no,
tough
that
to
is-
explain. Hold
yeah.
on, let's back that up, because I want to, because I know what you're saying, but I do want to clarify, because
sure.
I hate this argument when it comes to gay marriage. Of like, how do I explain it to my kids? You're not saying that.
Yeah.
You're saying that it's really shitty that you have to tell your daughter, well, you see, it's a pretty male-run industry, and that guy doesn't really notice that having a woman spread eagle on his shirt in like some sort of weird Barbarella fantasy is wrong, or is like
Yeah.
sort of an awkward shirt to have at work. Yeah.
Not necessarily even hitting you with a wrong word, but problematic, and how it'll affect other people watching this.
Yeah, and I took offense to people that took offense to people taking offense. I was just like, I totally get the offense there. Like, I don't, and because everything I read, nobody was like, fuck, like nobody was like, as I said, there wasn't an actual movement to like make that guy run off the planet. People were just like, oh my God, like, really now? That shirt? And when I saw that shirt, I went,
it was
really
a lot of
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's
Come
a lot
on.
of come on, Jimmy. Sort of.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, why'd you have to do that? Now we have to deal with this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do think that like I don't it's that no one's arguing he doesn't have the right to wear that shirt. Nobody's arguing he should be fired. We're just arguing like, seriously, can you be a little bit more aware socially?
That's all.
It's not a big ask.
No.
And it's not about and for the feminists that wrote those articles, it's not about them. We are not going to focus on equality. We're really mad at shirt guy. Like, no, they're obviously focusing on equality still. You can be mad. You can have two simultaneous thoughts at the same time.
Conversations at the same time.
Truth at your convenience.